Let's just get right into it, shall we? Welcome to This Explainer. As a behavioral coach, I see the exact same pattern every single day. Professionals are just running themselves entirely into the ground. They are completely burnt out by the relentless demands of modern life. We're constantly told to, find shortcuts to hack our way to the top, but today, we're initiating a complete psychological reset. We're going to step way back from all that superficial noise and dive into a truly transformative blueprint for total, lasting effectiveness. So think about this for a second. Are you climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall? It's a pretty visceral question, isn't it? So many of us are just utterly exhausted. We're barely surviving the grueling grind of high-pressure tech hubs, or we're carrying the massive multi-generational expectations of a traditional family business. We hustle day and night, we climb rung by rung, only to finally reach the top and realize the view isn't what we wanted at all. We achieved the goal, sure, but we totally lost our peace in the process. You see, modern hustle culture constantly sells us the personality ethic. It tells you to memorize public speaking tricks, dress a specific way, network aggressively, and basically plaster on a fake smile. But treating your life like this, it's literally like watering the leaves of a sick tree when the actual disease is down in the roots. True enduring success requires what we call the character ethic. It demands an inside-out approach. Because the reality is, you cannot project authentic power externally if you haven't done the work to build a foundation of deep integrity and core values internally. To help rebuild those roots, here is our definitive roadmap for This Explainer. We'll be covering the inside-out paradigm, private victory through self-mastery, public victory and relational wealth, and finally, continuous renewal.
Okay, let's jump straight into part one, the inside-out paradigm. Building the foundation.
Like I mentioned, true, lasting change absolutely has to begin internally before it can ever project outward. You literally cannot fix the world, your business, or your joint family dynamics until you fix yourself. To understand this internal shift, we have to look at the psychological ladder we all climb. It's called the maturity continuum. We all start out at dependence, relying on others, blaming the market when things go wrong, or feeling completely crushed by family expectations. Our goal today is to move from that state of dependence up to independence, where we actually master ourselves and ultimately reach the absolute pinnacle, interdependence. This is where we realize that while we might be strong alone, collaborative brilliance is how we generate massive exponential success.
Moving right along to section 2, private victory and self-mastery.
This is the phase where we tear down the ego, build up our personal accountability, and transform from dependent individuals into totally independent powerhouses. It all kicks off with habit 1, be proactive. Notice how human focus is generally split into 2 circles. We have the circle of concern, startup layoffs, inflation, what society thinks of you, basically the classic log kyaka henge mindset. Reactive people spend 90% of their energy right here, acting like weather-dependent victims. If the economy is bad, their mood is bad. But proactive people, they focus entirely on their circle of influence, their personal health, upskilling, their own emotional reactions. You have got to stop handing the remote control of your life over to external circumstances. Focus strictly on what you can actually influence. All right, so once you've got that remote control back in your hands, you need to know what channel to actually tune into. That brings us to habit 2, begin with the end in mind. I want you to try a quick visualization exercise with me. Imagine your own funeral. Your family, your friends, your colleagues, they're all standing there. What do you actually want them to say about you? Do you want to be remembered just as some ruthless CEO who never came home, or as an honest, loving, and deeply impactful human being? That ultimate legacy, that is your true north. You need to write a personal constitution, a mission statement that acts as your daily compass, so you never end up climbing the wrong wall again. Now we execute. Habit 3 is put first things first. Now listen, this is not just about time management, it's about life management. We so often live our lives stuck in quadrant 1, drowning in stress from last-minute crises and late-night escalation calls. Or worse, we get so exhausted that we escape down to quadrant 4, wasting precious time on binge-watching and pointless gossip. But let me tell you, the real magic happens somewhere else entirely. Here is the crucial takeaway. The absolute most effective modern leaders live in quadrant 2. They prioritize deep work, heavy business strategy, and proactive relationship building. They actively schedule time for their health and skill upgrades, things that are completely vital but rarely immediately urgent. To master this, you have to learn how to politely but very firmly say no to the chaotic distractions and those totally fake illusions of urgency that drain away your days. All right, let's shift gears to section 3, public victory and relational wealth.
So, having secured our private victory, we are now truly independent. But remember, true independence is merely the stepping stone to leading high-performing, interdependent teams. And, of course, managing complex joint family dynamics. Before we explore the next habits, we have to talk about the emotional bank account. Every single relationship you have, whether it's with your spouse, your legacy clients, or your employees, it is a bank account. You make deposits through genuine empathy, keeping your promises, and providing unbilled extra value. But you make massive withdrawals through corporate backbiting, ego, and micromanaging high-attrition tech teams. You simply cannot withdraw loyalty from an employee or a client if you haven't deposited empathy and reliability first. If that account goes bankrupt, the relationship is over.
To keep those accounts overflowing, we apply habit 4. Think win-win. Society constantly conditions us with a scarcity mindset, right? A win-lose paradigm, where for me to win, you have to lose. But success is not a single pizza where taking a slice leaves less for me. It's an ocean. Win-win replaces that cutthroat competition with an abundance mindset. Whether you're navigating a bitter joint family business dispute or building lasting vendor relationships, a win-win or no-deal approach ensures that both parties walk away profitable, happy, and respected.
And how do we actually achieve that win-win? Through habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood. This right here is the absolute golden rule of communication. It is the ultimate antidote to our absolute worst conversational habit, listening merely to reply, rather than listening to truly understand. We just love handing out unsolicited advice in the workplace, don't we? Think of it like going to a doctor. Imagine walking into a clinic complaining of severe stomach pain, and the doctor immediately whips off their own eyeglasses and hands them to you, saying, "Hey, these worked great for my vision, so wear them to fix your stomach." You would think they were completely crazy. Yet we do exactly this every single day. We prescribe our own life experiences without ever stopping to diagnose the other person's actual pain. Empathetic listening means taking off your own glasses and looking through their lens first. When you finally do that, watch how fast defensive walls crumble. When you master empathic listening and a genuine win-win mindset, you unlock the crazy mathematics of habit 6, synergize. Because in the world of true interdependence, 1 plus 1 does not equal 2 anymore. 1 plus 1 equals 11. Synergy is the realization that the whole is vastly greater than the sum of its parts. It means you stop merely tolerating differences within your tech startup or your family board. Instead, you start actively celebrating those completely opposite strengths. When you combine diverse backgrounds and perspectives, you aren't just compromising, you're generating a third alternative. A breakthrough idea that generates massive, exponential asset value that neither person could have ever built alone. Which brings us to our final section, Part 4, Continuous Renewal, Preserving Your Greatest Asset. So you've built this incredible machine of private and public success. But how do you maintain the engine? Well, the engine is you. This is habit 7, sharpen the saw. There's this iconic story of a woodcutter furiously trying to chop down a tree. He is exhausted, sweating profusely, making absolutely zero progress. A traveler walks by and says, "Hey, take a 15-minute break and sharpen your saw." And the woodcutter angrily yells back, "I don't have time to sharpen this saw. I'm too busy sawing." It's a tragic irony, isn't it? But how many of us say, "I'm way too busy dealing with stress to exercise," or "I'm too busy working to learn a new skill"? You simply cannot preserve your greatest asset if you refuse to maintain it. You absolutely must institute a non-negotiable daily routine that covers the 4 dimensions of renewal. Physical, you've got to exercise daily and eat right. Mental, read, journal, and intentionally consume information outside of your specific niche. Spiritual, meditate, pray, or spend time in nature to reconnect with your core constitution. And social/emotional, spend meaningful, undistracted time with your loved ones to make massive deposits into those emotional bank accounts. Block out 1 hour a day for this. Completely disconnect from your notifications and genuinely recharge. We have journeyed all the way from dependent reactions to interdependent synergy. So now I'm going to leave you with this final, powerful question. Will you remain a reactive victim of the daily grind, letting the world completely dictate your mood and your path? Or will you consciously design a life of deeply principled, inside-out effectiveness? The transformation is entirely in your hands. Thank you for joining me for this explainer. Now go out there and sharpen your saw.